we want to launch 3 new scanning services. The first is an index scanning service, which scans the major indexes, parent indexes, and shows outperformers and underperformers against that index. The second is a indicator scan, which looks at, compares literally thousands of stocks, looking for key VSA indicators that signal a change in market direction. Finally, a sector scanning service for stocks that overperform and underperform against a particular sector. Now, we're not actually launching that today. We're working on that. That will be something that's launched later on this year, we're hoping. But today, we'll be launching the first 2 services. I just wanted to give you a sort of complete picture of what the services will be. So let's have a look at them in a bit more detail. This is the scanning services homepage once you log into the customer area. And here you see the 3 scanning services. If I kick off with the index scan, that immediately brings up the markets that the geographical areas that we'll be covering. We'll be launching today, like last week, with the US and Canada market and the UK market. And we'll be bringing on these markets in line, as I've mentioned, over the coming weeks. So if I kick off with the US market, you immediately get a drop-down which shows the key indexes that we are covering in that region. So, for example, if I go to the Dow Jones, you see the index scan, and you'll see, as Gavin mentioned earlier, there's 3 different time frames. You've got the short term, medium term, and long term. And here you see the underperforming stocks against the parent index, with the most underperforming at the top and going down. This is the most overperforming at the top and going down. And if I show you and move to the UK market, again, you can see the indexes we cover. And there you'll see exactly the same format. So that's the index scan. If I go to the indicator scan, again, it brings up the key regions that we're covering. And as I said, US and UK are the first 2 that we're offering as of today. The US market, there you go. And what you'll see is the index. You'll see the stock and the symbol. You'll see the time frame. And you'll see what indicator we found. And obviously the indicators in red signal climatic action indicators that signal a impending fall in the market. Similarly, the indicators that are green signify an impending rise in the forthcoming market.
Yeah, Richard, sorry to interrupt. Can I just clarify something, make sure we're clear on this? So from what I've seen in this indicator scan, we've got end of a rising market and bag holding, which are the 2 most powerful indicators in the software. Gregory, is that what it's looking at? It's not looking for just climatic action. It's actually looking for those specific signals, correct?
Not at the moment, but if you want to, if our customers want to do that, we can do that as well.
I personally, I like it as it is. I've seen some really good indicators come up. It's absolutely brilliant. So I wouldn't want to overcomplicate it because you might get too much. The one thing I would say here is we're not just scanning like we used to, like 200 stocks or 300 stocks. This is pretty much unlimited. It can do thousands. Now, this is obviously one of Tom's dreams to have had this type of system in place. But I tend to trade the bag holding end of a rising market signals more than any other. And this is one of the reasons that's in there. And you won't see at the moment, like Richard showed at the beginning in the PowerPoint slide, a climactic action signal. And certainly Smart Center Pro, which is our software, does that. But we've kept the scanning service pretty simple to look for the real key. These are market turning points. And you still have to read the documents that go with it, but they're powerful. Richard, back to you.
Yes, and the other thing is that I should mention, we're rolling these out today in beta form, and we are looking for feedback. And if we get the feedback that people do want to look at other indicators, we'll obviously consider that when we're rolling in any changes in the future. So this is a sort of an overview of the services. Obviously, as I said, the sector scan we won't be covering today, but we'll be hoping to launch that very shortly. Now, Gregory, I've shown what the services are. How do they work? Take us through, let's start with the index scanning service. How do you use the different timeframes? How do you use it? How does it work?
Can you please switch back your slides? I mean, scroll these up to the indicator scan. Yep. So how does it work? What we are doing, we are taking all the stocks which are belonging to the particular index. We are measuring the index itself, and then we are comparing every stock from the list under this particular index with the index itself. This is how it's done. If the stock overperforms or acting better than the parent index, we are ranking those stocks, and then you're getting top 10 out of that. When at the same time we are selecting bottom 10, and we based on the ranking, and then you are getting those 10 underperforming stocks in the list. Why do we need it? We know from Wyckoff's theory that if we are looking for buying the stocks, we need to look for the stocks overperforming an indices. If we are looking for shorting, which comes to CFDs or options trading, then we are searching for the stocks acting weaker than index or underperforming this index. And this is what you are getting here. So what we are providing to you, we are providing to you the list of top 10 overperforming and top 10 bottom 10, sorry, underperforming stocks. Inside of each category, you're getting 3 different scans, 3 different comparisons. The first one is the short term, which based on the daily charts and covers the period of approximately 3 weeks. You are getting medium term, and this covers also on a daily chart approximately 20 weeks. And you are getting the long-term comparison, which covers the period approximately 2 years. Why do you need all that? And who needs that? If you are a scalper, if you are intraday trading stocks or you are scalping them, you may need to look into the short-term values. If you are a swing trader with the trades which are taking from several days to several, I would say, months, then you may need probably to look into the values into the stocks under medium-term scan. And then if you are investing, you are making long-term investments for several years, that's a definitely long-term period comparison here. So by this table, or by those 3 different categories, we are covering the needs of any type of trader, I would say.
Excellent.
Yep.
Sorry, did I catch up? Did you want to say anything more?
No.
Okay, well, let's turn to the indicator scanner. Take us through how that works. I'll just put it up there. This is the US market.
Yeah. When we are talking about indicators scans, we should remember that every VSA setup starts from the claim uptick action, from the very, very, very big volume bars, which might become a turning point in the market. And this is what we are trying to find here. And those 2 indicators at the moment, back holdings and end of the rising market, they are very high volume bars, and they are potentially will provide you the view about the change in the direction, market direction, potentially. You still need, as Gavin told before, you still need to understand VSA, you still need to follow the VSA rules to to find the trade setups, but that might become a starting point of the change of the stock behavior. How are we scanning them? We are scanning them on a daily and weekly charts. If we are talking about daily charts, then we are scanning them, of course, on a daily basis. And at the moment, we are covering approximately 15,000 stocks on different markets, which are covering the US, Canada, and the UK. Am I right, Richard?
Yes, that's right. So US and Canada, UK is obviously UK stocks.
Yeah, so this is what we are covering at the moment. All in all, we are talking about approximately 15,000 stocks, which are under scan for every of these service. We are talking about index scan, we are talking about indicator scan. All of them, they are checked. If we are second type of the chart we are using for indicator scans is weekly, and the scan is performed on the weekly basis. We are not scanning them every day. We need to remember that VSA works only on the closed bars. They are not working on the ongoing bars or still open bars. So what we are doing, we are waiting until the market is closed, then waiting for some time, for an hour or a couple of hours. After that, we are performing the scan, a recent scan of the market. And for daily chart, it's done on a daily basis, and on weekly chart, it's done on the weekly basis. You will get the results on Saturdays, on Sundays. I would tell you that the scans are taking place during the weekend. And the reason, and for those who must probably know that the exchanges are not always publishing true volume at the day of the trading. So we are scanning the markets during the weekend as well, because some changes in the volume may appear. So you can go through the scans during the weekend. They will be updated in most of the time, and some results might be changed over the weekend. So that is how indicator scan is working.
So, Grigory, how many stocks in theory could we scan in a day, during a day period?
Difficult to say, Richard. It pretty much depends on the no, I don't know. I mean, at the moment we're scanning about 15,000 stocks. The scan takes approximately, let's say half an hour. It's a bit less, sometimes more. So we are limited. If we are talking about trading days, we are limited by 15 hours approximately in between scans, between 10 and 15 hours. So we can do, I would say, minimum 10 times more, up to 150,000. I'm pretty certain we can still manage.
And that's really the value of the service, because what we're bringing you through both the index scan and the indicator scan is literally access to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of good trading candidates that you can then use as the basis for your trading activity. You haven't got to go through and find these. The system's finding them for you in a consistent way every day.